People need to get away, whether it's decompress, a little less stress. Anybody that thinks back of they've gone on a trip and had a great experience, found it very memorable, their feeling about that place or that state or that city kind of stays with them a long time.
What do you value about your community? What makes you proud about your community? What do we need to protect? Tourism has the opportunity to bring communities together and instill a sense of community pride, a knowledge of their history. We need to be very careful about the product that we have for Minnesota's tourism and make sure it's sustainable.
It starts with a person or persons that have an idea, and they're passionate about that idea. The idea builds and grows. There is a group then that comes together that organizes, develops an event or some activity that is successful. And once that activity is successful or that event is successful, it just tends to grow.
Tourism in Minnesota, Ideas at Play, is a co-production of University of Minnesota Extension, University of Minnesota Tourism Center, Making a Difference in Minnesota, and TPT's Minnesota Channel.
Don't take for granted what's in your own backyard. Minnesota tourism is huge. People don't realize how big tourism is in Minnesota. It's about $11 billion industry. $11 billion is a big figure. Put it this way, it's comparable to agriculture in terms of its importance to the state. Generates over $1 billion in state and local taxes every year. 15% of all state sales tax comes from the leisure and hospitality industry. Employs about 244,000 people. That's about 10% of all jobs in the state of Minnesota.
People are coming here from Chicago or Des Moines or California or London or Japan. And when they come here, they're leaving their dollars behind. That in turn circulates in the economy as new money, and then that money in turn is taxed and brings in more revenue. So actually travel and tourism taxes people that aren't residents, if you will.
We conduct an annual survey. We ask Minnesotans, how important is tourism to Minnesota's economy? And repeatedly more than 90 or 95% say it's very important. If we try and get to the economic numbers and how it rates, we know it's in the top 3.
I think we have a real unique blend of what I'll call outdoor and indoor. When you take a look at the theater and the arts, performing arts, all the things in the Twin Cities, and then that really gets complemented by all of the lakes and rivers and streams and outdoor activities. And people have gotten very sophisticated. They want very specific things and they want a lot of value. I think people have always wanted value when they travel. But the idea now is you can be very focused on specific interests that you have, and destinations that can meet that and come together on it are going to do a lot better.
University of Minnesota's Tourism Center is a network of individuals at the university who support tourism-dependent communities and businesses. We have faculty here based in the Twin Cities campus, as well as a network of extension educators who work throughout the state.
The Tourism Center reaches out to all parts of the state, all 87 counties, all 800 plus cities, and it's really designed to help people, help businesses, help organizations with what they're trying to accomplish with their goals in travel and tourism.
The University of Minnesota Tourism Center brings the research, the outreach programming, and the educational components that help to enrich the tourism industry in the state for all of our residents.
We looked at the Tourism Center for 3 things. Number 1, it's education, educating people with all the skills they need to enter in the hospitality industry. We looked at the Tourism Center for research about the economic impact of tourism, about marketing decisions, about servicing the customer. And we also looked at the Tourism Center for outreach and reaching out to communities. You know, how many people are traveling in Minnesota, and what businesses are impacted, and what are those dollar amounts, and how does it affect jobs?
We're so fortunate to have so many great questions in Minnesota. We've worked anywhere from a 10-day time frame to a 2 to 3 year time frame on the research projects. For example, with the St. Paul Winter Carnival, mid-January we learned they might need some consumer information, so within a week we were able to conduct an on-site survey and turn around a report that informed their marketing, that demonstrated how much money people spent in restaurants. We have also worked several year time frames with communities to understand their consumer throughout a year, to inform their marketing, to understand if and how their consumer base was changing. We're going to be looking at our population and our tourist population as it diversifies, as the United States diversifies, and also as it ages. Tourists are going to have some different expectations and needs that we need to make sure our destinations and organizations can attend to.